we have to talk about the extremely high temperatures, because if you just set something on fire, it's not going to do what happened out at Sodom and Gomorrah.
It burns so quickly. When you burn a piece of wood, it just kind of, the ash kind of spreads out. This was burned so fast, it was burned in place before it had time to expand.
Well, there is a word for this, and it's called thermal ionization, and it can apply to many different processes, but in this case, it requires extreme heat, almost like a nuclear reaction, but it's not nuclear. It's a reaction that actually causes ions and things like that to switch around. And if you will look at the layering in here, this is the result of an extremely high temperature flash fire, where all the elements in the substances being burned were separated out by atomic weight. This caused them to settle in layers. And here you can see the layers, and it's a strange phenomenon. We don't see it anywhere else. I especially like this picture because it looks like a piece of structure that tried to collapse while it was being burned up. It was burned up so fast that in the process of collapsing, it was frozen in time. This picture here is absolutely incredible. Nothing could have caused this except the ionizing effect of a flash fire in excess of thousands of degrees. In an instant, the fire swirled and froze again in time. This one is very obvious. If you'll notice, the layers above and below are relatively straight and laid out, but this layer is curly, showing that the fire swirled at that particular, with that particular material. And we have really no way to know what these materials are, because the chemical reaction that took place when this was done just changed everything. Ron believed, if you'll notice, when we see more pictures, you'll notice that the buildings appear to be very high, and then there is all of this ash falling down. And if you are down at the ground level looking up, you're thinking, wow, these buildings were really high up. But Ron believed, and he found evidence that the fire burned completely down to bedrock. And this picture right here confirms that suggestion. You can see the layers of the city with the rocks below it. And what you can't see very clearly, but which we can see when we're there, is it's all the way down to bedrock.
Wow.
Now, this is the first section of ash that Ron showed me back in 1988. And I believe this one is very near the road, and it really captured his attention. He had found this before I even met him. And I think this is what caused him to take a closer look at these things, and he's going to talk about it.
Ashes of Sodom and Gomorrah. And as you can see, the wind has swirled this and stacked it. Tremendous heat. Abraham said, or the writer of the book of Genesis said, that the smoke of the valley rose up like the smoke of a furnace. And here you can see that the eddies of the hot air swirled the remains of the city of Sodom into these swirls, and you can see where the stone was burned, and the wood, and the people and the animals, leaving nothing behind to tell the tale except for ashes. And once again, friends, if we choose, we can end up under the feet of the righteous is ashes, just as we see before us here today. It's our choice. God has set before us life and death. And which will you choose?